Winners always lose. Everyone wants to win, but nobody wants to lose. Everyone wants success, but nobody wants the scars that come with it. But here's the truth. The people you admire most, Elon Musk, Steve Jobs, they didn't win because they were perfect. They won because they learned faster than everybody else. See, even when Elon Musk was building SpaceX, the first 3 rockets exploded. Millions of dollars gone, hundreds of millions of dollars probably, and most people said, he's finished, he's over, he's done. But you know what Elon said? He said, each failure brings us closer to success. That's not motivational talk, that's physics. That's feedback. Same with Steve Jobs. He got fired from his own company. Think about that. The company that he built fired him. Imagine that. You built something from scratch, from the ground up, and they tell you you're not going to be good enough to run it. You're out. See you later. Don't come back. But most people would have quit, right? But Jobs didn't see it as failure. He saw it as refinement. He went out, built Pixar, grew as a leader, and came back to make Apple the most biggest company in the world. See, that's what separates success from the stuck. It's not talent, it isn't intelligence, it's the ability to interpret mistakes correctly. See, poor see mistakes as proof that they're not good enough, that they're failing, that they didn't try hard enough. But wealthy people see mistakes as proof that they're getting better. Feedback, time to improve. One gives up, the other grows. And if you want to build wealth, real wealth, you've got to change your relationship with failure. Because the truth is, mistakes are not the enemy of success. They're the education for success. So today, in this video, I'm going to show you how to fail forward, how to use your mistakes as feedback, how to turn your frustration into refinement, and how to make every setback a setup for your comeback. Lean in, because if you can master this one principle, that'll stop you fearing failure and start building momentum for your future. So let's start here. The difference between the poor mindset and the wealthy mindset isn't how much money they have, it's how they think about mistakes. So it's the way they think. Oops, sorry. So it's the way he thinks, right? This is the key, right? It's right there. See, when a poor person faces failure, they say, I knew it, it wouldn't work, I just can't cut it, I'm not good enough. But a wealthy-minded person fails, they think, interesting, what did I learn? What could I do different? How do I improve on this? Same mistake, different meaning, different outcome, different thoughts. Different thoughts, what we're talking about here, right? When the poor mindset treats his mistake like a verdict, like that's it, the wealthy mindset treats it like data, information. Poor mindset says, I'm the problem. I'm it. The wealthy mindset says, there is a problem. How can I solve it? One internalizes failure and one interprets it. That's how some people get stuck in the same financial cycle year after year. A bad purchase, a missed payment, a bad investment, and they say, shame, it didn't work for me. They stop trying. But the people who grow, they don't just make the same mistakes. They learn. They intentionally use the data, feedback, to grow. What am I missing? What habit can I break? What do I need to build? How can I change? Even the Bible says a righteous man fails 7 times, but he rises again. Notice that it doesn't say he fails, he falls and he just stops. No, it says he gets back up. You know the old saying, get back on the horse. Once it kicks you off, you get back on. So the wealthy doesn't come from never failing. Some people think people have success and they've never failed. No, it's how do they use failure? How do they move it forward? It comes from interpreting it and using it for input. So here's the real questions for you. When life knocks you down, because we all know we've been knocked down, you, me, I know I have, what are you going to tell yourself? How are you going to interpret that data? Do I say, I failed? Do I say, I'm stuck, it's my fault, I can't learn anything? Or do I say, what can I learn? how can I use this? How can I change because of the feedback, the data, the information that I receive? Because if I keep saying I failed, you're stuck. You're stuck right there. It's a full stop. But if I say, what am I learning? It's a question mark. It opens up for opportunity. See, now that you know how the poor and the wealthy think differently about mistakes, let's talk about how you can actually fail forward. Because learning from mistakes doesn't happen automatically, it happens on intention. So, fail. Oh, that doesn't work at all today. Fail. That's terrible. Forward. That is an L, but my pen doesn't work. Fail forward. All right, now that you know failure isn't the enemy, let's talk about how to use it. Because if you don't learn from failure, you just keep on repeating it. But you need to interpret it right, because failure becomes a fast teacher. So let's have a look at this. Ready? So this is a feedback formula. Ready? I fail. Guess what? You and me were in that boat. Who's failed at something? Who's tried something, never succeeded? Okay, the next step. We reflect. All right? We go, I've made a mistake. What happened? How did I get here? The next, we refine. Right? Well, how do I make it better for next time? And then we repeat. Right? We do it again. And then what happens? We might fail again. And then we refine. Reflect. Oh, wait, I failed. We refine, and then we repeat. And it goes round and round. So it goes round and round. That's it. That's how you fail forward. Even great entrepreneurs, every investor, every high achiever, they run the same loop over and over and over again. They do it quickly. Look at Elon Musk. When a SpaceX rocket blows up, he doesn't throw a pity party, throw in the towel and says, that's it. He runs for feedback. Does the feedback formula. It failed. Yes. What happened? It blew up. How do I make it not blow up? Let's try again. And they make a tweak and they launch again. Each failure funds the next level of learning. And that's how you build something over time. Lots of repetitions. Not by avoiding failure, by extracting wisdom from it. And let's bring that home. Maybe you've made some money mistakes. Maxed out a credit card. Spent more than you earned. Let me know. Tried a side hustle. Didn't work. Okay, cool. Next time, let's run the formula. I failed. Cool. It happened. Accept it. Right? We all fail. That's okay. Reflect. Ask why. What led me to this decision? Was it emotional? Was it a lack of system? Was it a lack of knowledge? Lack of clarity? Refine. What can I change next time? Maybe I'll set a budget. Automate savings. Maybe I'll need to learn more, study more, invest more. Then repeat. Try again. Get back on the horse. Get back in the game. Repetition with reflection creates mastery. You don't win because you avoid mistakes. You win because you adjust faster than other people. Most people fail, freeze, and flee. And that's why winners fail, focus, and fix. It's completely opposite. That's how they fail forward. And even God built this into creation. You plant a seed, it doesn't grow overnight, it responds to the conditions. If it's too dirty, it wilts. That's feedback. If it's not enough light, it doesn't thrive. If it's too wet, it's soaked. But in the right conditions, it can grow. So God designed the earth for feedback. So we knew how to cultivate the earth and seed. Here's what I want you to do this week. Write down one mistake. Think about one mistake. Then ask yourself these questions. What did this teach me? Reflect. What can I change? And what could I do differently next time? That's how you can turn that pain into progress, and that's how you fail forward. Okay. All right. Now we've talked about how you can use failure as feedback. Let's start this to make it super practical. Okay. Ready? Number one. Never. Oh my gosh, this pen is not liking me today. Never waste failure. Never waste failure. Every fail comes in with a tuition fee. Don't waste it. You've already paid the price. You might as well collect on the lesson. See, some people go through the pain and never get the profit, or they make the mistake and they never gain the wisdom. When you fail, you don't just move on, you move up. Ask, what is this failure trying to teach me? Because if you don't learn the lesson, you're doomed to repeat it again. Remember Steve Jobs getting fired from Apple? Looked at that failure. He didn't waste it. He didn't say, oh, woe is me. He used that season to grow as a leader, sharpen his vision, and build Pixar. And when he came back, he turned Apple into $1 trillion company. He didn't avoid failure. He absorbed it. Don't bury that failure. Study it. Learn from it. Because buried mistakes rot, but studied mistakes produce fruit. Okay. Number two. Detach. Number two. Detach. Oh, this pen isn't liking me at all today. Detach emotion. Detach emotion. Keep the information. Here's a big one. Don't take it personally. So often we think it's my fault. If you don't see yourself as a failure, you're not. You're made in the image of God. You don't stop growing. If you see failure as information, you keep improving, you keep growing. When you touch a hot stove, it's the stove saying it's hot. Maybe don't touch it again. But if you keep touching it, you're going to burn yourself, right? You've got to learn from it. The same is business, the same with finance. You lose money, that's data. The system's broken, that's data. The emotions aren't labeled bad, but they're wisdom. Maybe don't do it again. Don't touch the hot stove. You've got to keep that information. Get the information and leave the emotion out of it. So if you're tired of So if you tried a side hustle that flopped, don't say I failed. That idea is validating that you failed, but instead say that idea didn't work. What can I do? What can I learn? Don't say I'm hopeless with money. Say my system didn't hold up under pressure. Time to reinvent it, reinforce it, create differently. And that's how wealthy thinkers operate. They don't react to feedback, they respond to it. Poor mindset says takes failure personally. Wealth mindset takes failure professionally. Okay. Number 3. That's a number 3, by the way. Keep moving while you learn. Keep moving while you learn. Don't stop moving just because you stumbled. The moment you lose momentum after you fail hurts. It stops you. Most people fail, they freeze, they stop, they never do it again. But if you keep walking, even with a limp, you'll still keep moving and you'll outrun those who quit. The Bible says we walk by faith and not by sight. It doesn't say self-pity. Faith moves even when it's unsure, even when it's uncomfortable. So if you're feeling financially, relationshiply, spiritually set back, dust it off, shake it off, get back on the horse. Extract wisdom and keep moving forward. Maybe your last business failed. Good. You just learned what doesn't work. Maybe you trusted someone who burned you. Good. You learned how to read character. Maybe your budget collapsed. Good. You just found the leak. Keep moving because you can't steer a parked car. So never waste a failure, detach emotion, and keep moving while you're learning. Okay, you see, when you really understand this principle, you can stop fearing failure. You can embrace it. Because every great thing in your life, every breakthrough, every success was built on the back of something not working the first time. Elon Musk didn't start with rockets that landed. He started with explosions. Steve Jobs didn't start with iPhones. He started with rejection. And you won't start your financial freedom without failure. You need to learn from it. And here's the difference. Learn from it. Learn from the failure. Failure doesn't mean you're losing. It means you're learning. Learning is the foundation of earning. When I was a quadriplegic, I failed thousands of times trying to rebuild my life. I failed in business. I failed financially. I failed emotionally. But every time I asked myself, what can I learn? How can I use this to move forward? And that question doesn't require talent, doesn't require luck. It requires to be learning from failure. So if you got value from this video, don't stop. Click my other videos. I'm going to show you. I show you how to create wisdom and wealth. Thanks so much for watching, and I can't wait to see you on the next video. Don't forget, fail forward.